Hey there class, today we're going to add some dimension to this model with texture painting. I know it sounds scary, but trust me, anyone can do this if you just follow my lead. It's going to be very simple. Sensei will teach you as best as I can. Alright, you should have a model with very flat colors, but this is okay. We're going to click on the head and we're gonna go to UV editing, make sure this is all selected, and we're gonna head straight to texture paint. Now anything you paint on here will be mirrored to the other side. If you have a drawing tablet, this will be a lot easier, but you don't need one for this to work. First thing I'd advise is getting a red color, and you want to put the strength down. The strength is right here. You can just drag it down. You also want to have this selected. This selected right here. So there's a little pen tool thing here. But if you don't have that, you'll be fine. If I color this with the mouse, it's still got the strength down, so it'll be alright. You could do that and blend it out if you needed to. So what you want to do is you want to be in this range here. I'm going to try something a bit more orangey and try and get some orangey red shading around this eye area. Just like that. Just want to be careful you don't add too much. A little on the nose area too. Now also what I want to do is come over here to the lip area and add some shading here, the bottom lip. You want to add more colour towards the centre and less on the edges. And here as well. Now you can get this smear and try and blend things out. The bigger the brush, the smoother it'll smear. Let's see how that looks from the side. So this can be dragged down a little bit. Most of the shape you want in the middle. And then you might think, well, that looks so silly. Just me, it's fine. Now I want to turn on screencast so you can see what I'm doing. Most of the shape in the middle. And you want less colour on this side. So that is looking even better. Now what also I'm gonna do is darken this up. Make this a bit smaller. Try to add some darkness to the center area. Also a little on the edges here. There's so much brown in this image, can add a little bit of colour to the edge of the eye like that. Then it can get darker in this middle section. also like to add a little bit of darkness on this side. You can't really see it too well, but it'll show up a little bit. Just keep adding a little bit more. See, now it's starting to show up. So I want to be careful with it. Now the nose, I'm gonna add a little bit of blue into this color. So you just click closer towards the blue. That will do it. And you still want to keep the strength low. I'm gonna add a bit of shadow for the nose. Just keep it small. I'm gonna smear the bottom edge. I'm pushing this side a little bit. This colour should also be good for under the lips. So just draw a little triangle here. Oh wait, need to get the brush. Like that. And actually, because this is more of an anime style, I'm going to make the nose thinner, like that. Just so it's barely noticeable. Also fading the underside of the shading here. This is going to be the hardest part of the whole model when it comes to colouring the face. Gonna keep that colour. See what I can do about this side of the face. Alrighty. Gonna do that until I have a colour that I like. And then select that colour and turn strength right back up. Just want to paint around the edge of that face. And down here too. And around the forehead as well. This will be mostly covered by the hair. Still gonna put this on. If you're drawing a bald character, it wouldn't have shading like this on the head. And also if you're drawing an anime character that you want to have a specific colouring style, I recommend to use a rather than to just have a guess at it. What you can also do is you can draw directly on the model if you really want to. So if you get this a bit smaller, you can do something like that. If you really wanted to. Alright, now the back of the head, just colour it all this colour. So this colour is a mixture of the original colour with a bit more red and a tiny dash of blue. So just colour that one colour. Make sure these edges, you've got them. And I'll actually colour the back of the ear this colour too, because of where the line is. This is a good idea. And you want to get the edges of this ear as well. So make the brush a bit smaller and just go around the edges. Like that. Even a little bit more with a slightly bigger brush. To get shading a bit more like that. Alright, I'm gonna zoom in here, get this color. Take out the harshness of that chin a little bit, that chin shading. It's looking a lot better. Now, you can also go around the edge of this face and blur these edges. With a smear. You can do that all the way around. What I really like doing is going into Critter and smoothing these out in there with the blur tool or the blur brush. Be very good, especially for these areas. Now, this is pretty decent for the head, and the shading of the head. I'm going to take it a bit further. I'm going to get this dark colour again. Select it like that. Attempt to draw some little nostrils. I'm going to actually turn radius on this time. Something like that should be good enough. Just don't make it too dark. You can go over again with the darker color, with a lighter color. Just do this kind of shape. And select this and then go, or actually turn off radius when you do this. Make it easier. Just go over it slightly. Make it lighter. For the lips, we're going to select this colour right besides it, and we're going to paint a little bit in this direction. Just very slightly. You want to take away some of that harsh colour from the edges. Paint in this direction just a little bit, and the same for the top lip. Anime characters don't really have defined lips, so you want to try and avoid having very sharp, noticeable colours in this direction, unless they're making unless they're wearing makeup and you want to make them look like that. Now this, I want to add some lighter colours. So I'm gonna select this again and add some more white into it. Just like that. I'm gonna lighten up this area of the eyes. Gonna lighten up tip of this nose. Top of this lip. Right, let me turn reduce on for this. And a line will do just fine. Can also do this kind of thing. The shine mark there. Make the tip of the nose really bright if you want to. I just say never add highlights with pure white. Never do that. Because it's just gonna always be way too intense. I'm gonna blur these out. Especially here on the nose. Blur that out a little bit. Now what I am gonna do is save this. You could, if you don't want to use a different software, just get a color that is like this. Could go into multiply mode, put your strength down, make this bigger, turn off radius and strength for a moment. And try out how different skin tones might look. You can also try overlay as well. The other way would be to save that and open it in Critter. So if we switch over to Critter, you'll see this here. And what you want to do, select these areas. And make a new layer. Pick a color like that. Just fill it. Deselect. You can grab your brush and draw in these areas that didn't select very well. You can duplicate it and merge down to make it more solid, and you can go into modes like color, multiply, overlay. You change the opacity, so this will be a lot faster. See, I don't want an orangey skin tone, so I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna push it into the reds. Get myself a brush, a round brush, and also make sure that is locked. I'm just gonna draw over, try and get some of this orange out. I'm gonna try saving this, seeing what it looks like in Blender. Go to image, reload, then you got a slightly different skin tone. Now I like this one a lot better, especially since there's an orangey skin tone instead of a yellow one, and an orangey blush. So with that, let's keep going. Let's keep going with this version. I'm going to select this color I'm gonna work on the rest of the body now. So click on the body, go to texture paint. And this is what we're gonna do. For the neck, you should be able to paint on the neck without painting on the rest of the face. Actually, remember to change your brush to mix and put the strength back up. You should be able to do this kind of thing. Painting straight on the body. And I would also advise to blend that out as best as you can. Remember to save as well. And save the image. You're gonna need to save the image and the model separately. What kind of shading gonna have? Another place you're gonna want to shade is under the chest. So just do it straight on here. Get your brush. Going to make this kind of shape. Like that. Get your smudge or smear, I think it's called. Gonna smear it like this. And a little bit underneath as well. Especially on this lower section here. That's where you want to put most of the shading that goes outside of this shape. To these underarm areas. And down the side. You can do this in this middle area here. Like that. You can also do this kind of thing. This underbelly area. And a little line here for the collarbone. Just make sure to look how it looks on your model. You don't want it to tilt too much. That seems like an okay direction. That is going to be blurred out though. Got the underarm area and then do the same on this side. So this underarm area. Remember to go outside of the lines. Do a shading like that. And a little bit up there. Alright. So let's just work on what we can see right now. So this area here. Smear that out. These side areas here as well. This underbelly area. And this belly button area. This collarbone. You want to keep this edge the sharper one. So this inner bit, you just try and smear that out. Again, this is way easier in Critter, but I'm going to show you in here first before I go to Critter. Alright, so I'm gonna get this color. Sharpen the edge of that a little bit. Yeah, like that. So that'll look a bit better. Now turn to see the back. I'm gonna smear these lines, these edges. And this one here too. I'm going to shade the inside of these arms. Just turn it in this direction and draw it on. And then we'll turn off that pen pressure in a second. I'm gonna try and line it up a bit. Turn this off. You can get the darkest color. Now on here I'm just gonna follow these lines down. So these two, follow it down to here. Same as this side. Follow it down to here. Still coloring outside of the lines. Smearing. You want to keep an eye on parts like here. Remember to save and save the image as well. And this little elbow here is gonna have some shading like that. Can blur this side. Well, smear this side. The blur tool works, but it's a bit it's a little bit of a hassle. Keeping this elbow kind of like a triangle. And like a triangle shape a little bit around a triangle. These legs. This is the front because you can see the knee here. This, you want to shade it like this. Make the brush smaller. This kind of shape. This kind of shape. This. Grab your brush. This is going to be the most smeared part. A little bit like H's. Then we're gonna get that same color. We're gonna shade the inner part of the thigh. And you'll see the shading appear there. I'm gonna shade that all the way down. You might think, isn't that weird having shading on the inside and the outside? Yes, but usually the arms are down, so it makes sense. I can do the same for this back area. But we're going to turn this around to keep an eye on this little area here. I'm going to try and shade it correctly. This is the kind of thing you're looking for. And it can be a lot more darker shaded on the back than on the front. I'm gonna do this side as well, all the way down. I like to do it so, because this part of the leg sticks out, I like to do this kind of thing. Put a curve there, and a curve there. And this side, just continue it down. You want to shade it so the light is coming from the front and also top down. That's what you're looking for. In this area you don't need to worry too much about the shading part. Just do a little line here and a little line here and smear it. I'm going to show you why I like Critter way much more than Blender for this kind of deal. Like, the difference is huge between this tool and the tools that you have in Critter. And also, your avatar will very slowly get a lot more shape and life. Get those edges blended out. Now this, you want to blend it quite a lot. This top area. Remember to save in case you crash. So you can spend a long time on blending to make it look better and better. But I'm gonna spend a minimal amount of time in Blender and just go straight in Critter. Critter will save a lot of time in doing this wiggling motion. Alright, so let's save this and go straight into Critter. Just go straight into Critter. I don't know how long that was off for. This is why I love Critter. I'm gonna go and find... Where is my blending brush? Here it is. This one here. It's called Blender Blur. I'm just going to duplicate this image just in case. I'm just going to get right into smoothing these edges out. I'm going to start with the face. See, even though it's blended, it's quite a choppy blend. This makes everything very homogeneous, if I'm going to be posh with words. Very high quality blur. I don't want this harsh line on the cheek, and it's gone. Blended in very nicely. I also want to click this lock button feature thing. Plus you don't have to go left and right when you're in Critter. You can just blur it in any direction you need to. Just be careful when the edges go in too black. So this as well, this head area. It's not all the same colour, but this will help. So these ears, just gonna go on the inside. Sort that out. Sort this out. This neck area. It's kind of sad looking. This area too. Gonna fix some of these colors just a tad. Hopefully that didn't mess it up too much. So down these parts of the arm. This is the back, I guess. Chest, move it out. This area. Smooth it out. That takes hardly any time. Now you might lose some of your edges here, but it's rather easy to get them back. Doing that a little bit. Now I'm just gonna hit save. I'm going to Blender, gonna go to image and hit reload. The shading is tons better, miles better than what it was before. It's so much smoother. And the face looks way smoother too. Way better than what I was doing in Blender a moment ago. So what I'm gonna do is grab this color and try and fix up some of these things. So we're gonna put strength, sensitivity there on. Add some light to certain areas. Like there. Also bring back some of the shading here. Want some more shading here. Some light color here. Just to do little adjustments. What else? The back. Gonna lighten it up a bit. Down the center. The elbow. Gonna lighten that up too. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, because obviously you're going to put on clothes on this model. So if you want, you could just do the head and the neck and the arms, because that's what's going to be seen the most. But I do recommend getting the hang of this kind of style painting, drawing lines and blurring them. They're very useful. See, the shading that looked so harsh is now just blended away for these lines down here. So I am going to select the dark color again. Go over some of these very lightly. Just until the harsh line disappears. You don't want to be creating too many more harsh lines though. So make your brush smaller if you need to. Yeah, the inner leg. And you could turn off the mirror for a moment and just work on one side. So I'm going to do that. Another reason why the mirror is useful. See? Looks pretty decent. Gonna select that highlight color again. Try to get her butt back. There, let me turn this back on. Yeah. Just a little bit there. And a bit of shading. Underneath. Just like that same color again. This is very basic shading, even though it doesn't look like it is rather basic. What yeah, I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some red colors, bit of blushy tone, sort this out a little bit. Alright, so in colour under here, so it doesn't look so sad. Dark in this area. Hit a little bit. Image. Save. Now for some red. Gonna actually, instead of doing that, instead of guessing, I'm just gonna select this colour here. Try not to get it too dark. Underneath the chest area. This is mostly adding red to some of these shadows. Add some red to the underbelly area. Belly button area. Gonna add some red here. Under the armpits. Gonna add it to the knees. Especially underneath. Gonna add some red to behind the leg here. Butt area. And underneath the head a bit. Gonna blur these lines. It's a bit too in your face. Here, select this. And want to colour these parts of the head with it. Just gonna add it all the way around. You can add some highlights too if you really want to. I'm just gonna keep it on the simpler side for now. I'm gonna select this. Make sure down the side of the body isn't too light. In this area too. Basically the same thing what you did for the legs. So the underwear should be pretty simple. Select this colour. Go to dark blue and then darken this a little bit. The most important place you need to darken is here. Right here. You want to take that off actually. Gonna add some shading here. Just on the edge as well as here. And here. Round this out a little bit. And actually point that up just a tad. You don't want to point it up too much because it looks very strange. This I'm gonna blur in Critter. Go to Critter, get the blur, and just do this on that edge. It's so much faster in Critter, so I honestly recommend to do it in Critter than in Blender. Hit save, go straight back to Blender, image, reload, magic. Very simple. Now if you want, you can go ahead and put multiply on or whatever blending mode and put some patterns over if you really want to. I'm just going to keep it simple for now. That's the main body and the head. I'm going to quickly do the eyes. Save that first. Go to pupils. Texture paint. Now hopefully this is the right way up. Let's see. Let's select this color. I'm going to completely add a lot of red to it and darken it up. Okay, so this is actually upside down. Alright. So UV editing, grab that, rotate 180, should be good. Texture paint, yeah, okay. You want to know what layer this is on, so I'm gonna add a circle in the middle. And then the shape around the edge. Make the brush smaller. Continue this around. A little bit on the bottom too. Let's bring this down even further actually. And we're gonna get an even darker redder colour. Like that. Do this again. Don't bring it down as far. Gonna select this green, add some yellow to it, bring it lighter. A little shape like this down here. And I think some turquoise would be nice. So let's get some really light coloured turquoise like this. A little light there. Alright. This area here you want to be blended. I think we're all gonna have a better time doing this in Critter, so let's just save. Add to Critter. Go straight in there with the blur tool. Just blur this out. You want to try and not touch this eye area here. This, however, this you can blend out. Especially this light bit at the bottom. Alrighty. Gonna add a new layer and add really bright green to it. Gonna use an airbrush to do that. This time I'm not worrying about getting on the pupil. Gonna go with my blending. Blend that down. Take this opacity down. And you can mess with the blend modes if you like. I quite like that forest colour. Let's just hit save. Go here, image, reload. Gonna just straighten this up a bit. Image, save. Grab that colour, line it up. Do this, and this. And actually I'm going to select the same colour as the whites of the eye, so here. Throw that in there. And here. And here. Now you could add all sorts of sparkly stuff to the eyes if you really wanted to. What I'm gonna do is go to UV editing and try and get this shape, this eye in a better position. And bring it down a little bit. I'm gonna rotate it a little bit. That looks better to me. Image, save. So that's the eye. I'm gonna go to the eyelashes, texture paint. I'm gonna change this color to more earthy brown. So this is very red at the moment. Let me go to UV editing, hit A, texture paint. Yeah, this is super red at the moment. Head towards the green, darken it up a little bit. And I'm gonna select this. So strength pressure on. If you don't have a pen tablet, then just turn the strength down and blur it afterwards. Yeah, so this is already looking better. All I'm doing is hitting that outside edge with that darker color. Gonna do the same for these little eyelash parts. Eyelash parts. Matches her eyes a bit more. I'm gonna hit it with some strong reds though. Just ever so slightly. Just to make it a little bit more interesting. No, you can like go in with like a dark color like this and try and draw some eyelashes in, but I don't usually do that. You see, like some models have like this kind of deal going on. That's not something I usually do, but you can do it if you want. It's not too hard. Personally, I don't think it looks that amazing, so I'm not gonna bother with it. The eyebrows I'm gonna make darker. So let's go to eyebrows, UV editing and texture paint. Gonna grab this color here, push it darker, not completely black, but definitely darker. May turn off that. Do this kind of deal. Another thing, gonna select this. Now I do kind of draw hairs in the eyebrows. Make that a bit bigger. Just like there a little bit. Can also blur that out. That kind of thing. Now she looks like the smuggest anime girl I've seen in a long time. But anyway, we'll do the hands and feet another time. This is the main stuff. Go to the head, texture paint here. Let's get this color. Add a little bit of purple to it. Bring it down. Now, I don't know if this is the right direction at the moment. Gonna do this kind of deal. Much it. I don't know what direction this is in, but I'm gonna go to UV editing. I'm gonna try and figure it out. Gonna select this and grab, move it up, move it down. Alright, so this is definitely not in the right direction. Rotate to like that. Grab to here about. Just scale in the Y direction a bit. Or it's super subtle. Almost can't see it. Go to texture paint actually. I just added a bit of shadow. So that's it for the shading. Very simple. It's mainly just drawing. The hardest part is the face. You know, getting this little shade here and around the eyes area. And then the rest is literally just drawing lines and blending. Drawing lines and blending. Drawing lines and blending. There's still some more texturing to do with the base, but very nearly almost done. Alright, I do thoroughly recommend you get Critter, even if you don't want to. It's free. It has great brushes you can use, so I strongly recommend to use that. You can do everything in Blender if you really want to, but it's not going to end up as smooth as this if you do, unless you're like a pro with Blender brushes, then you might be able to find your way around it. So yeah, see you in the next lesson, and thank you for watching. Farewell.